Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live from our news hub here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. My name is Efua Tieku. Top of the bulletin this afternoon. Tamale Magistrate Court grants 10,000 cedi bail with 2 sureties to Baba Al-Hassan, who allegedly chased away CEO of Tamale Hospital. Students of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology protest conversion of Katanga Hall to a mixed hall. On the foreign front, Pentagon warns China's military training for strikes against U.S. and allied targets in the Pacific. We have details of all these and more in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us now to our very first story. The Tamale Magistrate Court 2, presided over by His Honor Anthony Adaku-Edu, has today, Friday, August 17, 2018, granted suspect Baba Al-Hassan a court bail of 10,000 cedis with 3 sureties. That bailers should be government workers earning not less than 10,000 cedis. They should be residents of Tamale and should deposit their passport pictures at the court registry. Lawyer of the accused person, Mohammed Shaibu, prayed the court to consider the right to liberty of his client, Baba Al-Hassan. The counsel argued police charges, which are assault, unlawful entry, and conspiracy to stealing, are self-demeaning, as the prosecution had no proof that his client stole. On the other 2 charges, counsel Mohammed Shaibu argued prosecution cannot charge his client for unlawful entry, as the Tamale Teaching Hospital is a public place. He again argued that his client, though a member of the NPP youth group Kandahar, was not among those who besieged the office of the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. David Akobila. However, the prosecutor insisted the police had enough evidence that Baba Al-Hassan was among the youth that besieged the office of the CEO. The case has been adjourned to September 3, 2018. Meanwhile, police presence was heavy at the court premises. This is Midday Live on TV3, and do remember we are live on DSTV channel 279, and we also want you to stay interactive with us through our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at TV3 Ghana. Now, to our next story. Government has developed a software application as a measure to fight illegal mining. The software, Galam Stop, was announced at a news conference in Accra to outline the roadmap for lifting of the ban on artisanal and small-scale mining. A report by Godfrey Tanam.
The chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kwabena Frimpong, indicated that the software is created to consolidate activities of all regulatory bodies in the fight against illegal mining. Some of the mechanisms, he said, developed to check illegal mining after the lifting of the ban include the use of satellite imagery, drones, and frequent visits to the mining concessions. He added the software will provide information on the machinery used for mining and assist law enforcers to deal with illegalities.
There are certain so-called large-scale mining companies, but they are not. They have large-scale concessions, but they are using small-scale methods to mine. And they are flouting a lot of our laws. And the minister will give directives as to what they are supposed to do. And we also want to stop what we call bulk sampling.
All paramilitary forces providing protection and mining concessions will be withdrawn to make way for only Operation Vanguard team to be on the ground. Miners with licenses will also be given special identification cards linked to the software to aid in accessing information. Registering and installing tracking devices on earth-moving equipment will also be conducted.
We want to know the number of excavators that we have in this country. Some say 5,000, others say 7,000. We don't know. But we want to know where they are and what they are doing, so we'll be able to track them. Every excavator will be moved to a particular area and to receive an electronic tracking device.
Before the lifting of the ban on mining activities, vetting and verification of small-scale mining companies will be conducted. Some small-scale miners expressed disappointment in the presentation of the roadmap.
The government is now going to issue us certificates or ID cards for us to, where I know GPRTU and other people, all these organizations give membership cards to their members. So I think government should be very focusing on policies, and then we can do also the interventions. It is close to 2 years. You are telling us not to eat. Our houses, we have placed our houses as collateral. Now we came here, you are telling us you are going to write a letter to the banks. When does he become a consultant to the banks? When we were taking our loans, where was he? Was he an intermediate between the banks and us?
The minister hinted the ban will be lifted before the end of the year, stressing the date will soon be announced.
Well, still staying on this issue, government is to lift the ban on small-scale mining very soon. At a forum in Accra, the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong, presented a roadmap saying the checklist to guide the decision by the government to lift the ban would include the removal of all earth-removing mining equipment within the district to designated areas to be announced next week. Of the roadmap developed by the IMCIM include stopping the operation activity of large-scale, small-scale companies that have flouted laid-down regulations, halting the activities of prospecting companies engaged in bulk sampling and processing, and withdrawal of military and paramilitary personnel from concessions of large-scale mining companies that have gone contrary to laid-down regulations, sensitization and educational tours of mining communities. Others are establishing the quality of water bodies, vetting and verifying licenses of small-scale mining companies, registering and installing tracking devices on earth-moving equipment, and lifting the ban on small-scale mining and publishing the list of successfully vetted small-scale miners. Although the roadmap revealed does not state the specific time the ban will be lifted, there are indications it may happen before Christmas this year. A 6-month moratorium was imposed on small-scale mining on April 1, 2017 to curb illegal mining and its negative impact on biodiversity and health. Now it's time for What Do You Think? And government is set to lift the ban on small-scale mining after the implementation of the roadmap. It further proposes that the ban will be lifted by December 2018. Now my colleague Non Falong finds out what Ghanaians think about the postponement of the lifting of the ban.
The ban on small-scale mining is expected to be lifted by December 2018. The ban, which was initially enforced in January 2017, was expected to last 6 months. What do Ghanaians think of the continuous extension of the ban on small-scale mining? We find out today on What Do You Think?
We don't have to wait till December. It's been too long. Yes, there's been all kinds of collusion between traditional chiefs who take a little money, and people will come in. People from a certain foreign country, I'm not going to mention them, but Galamsey, pay them a little, hire some local people, and then they turn a blind. Before you know it, the river is polluted, the fish are dead, the farmers cannot farm their land, and nobody seems to be taking responsibility. We are not really treating this as a crisis. We need a policy that will distinguish between the two groups. I will not directly accuse the policymakers and the parliamentarians and so on.
Ajima enni omamwa ene de krono eba. Ntinu wabande galanse no anakware enye. Ye hwehwemu a de gwama ajima eso ani no. Omo na yi omo eba be ajima no. Obi a omo so na womo ntim wama nji omo mara so no. Tese ye yi wom. Sa ajima de wo ajima ye hwehwemu. De wo di omo mara so. Ni asa de wa babak.
The government at the moment should be able to take a drastic decision. For me, the delay has been overdue, so if any decision can be taken, they should take it now, and then let's see the way forward. And there's this unemployment in the system. They feel like actually working. There's no where to actually work in the system. So the government can also put in place measures about youth unemployment measures for them to actually do something in the system. I think this will actually reduce the illegal mining in the system.
If the people are doing their work well, then these problems will not be there. Because you realize that most of the people who even engage in the illegal mining, they are the big people. They are the people in charge. They are the people who have positions, and they are the people who have the voice to stop them. But well, they end up going behind and rather commanding people to go. If, for instance, I don't have the voice and I happen to catch people doing the illegal mining and I report them, the big people are rather pushing them to do it. That's why all these things are still happening.
They have to supervise them to make sure rivers are not polluted. These things are not dug and left like that. These are the things, because if they allow them, because of the current money, the today's money, that means you are going to destroy 100 years to come. And destroy 100 years to come, it is going to be a disaster. Because by then, population will go high. And then where will they get a place to mine? By that time, they have finished the whole land. For me, they shouldn't even legalize anybody. They should leave it like that, so that you reserve the decision for the future generation.
When I want you to be about try to obey and you may be on your chrome. And so, what the government open was the non-for plans for being from back. Not one starting young Juma. Actually, because of okay, actually, let me young one won't be out which one. So, the bonum wasn't be out of baby or but my boy. Emma, why you be now? I mean, say, may just be no other water to her. Now, what's the saying? My ye, and now, only okay, be as an away. What your license, BBR, what the BBR, your paper, mobile bottom wine when you because watch out.
Now let's look at issues of students' agitation. As students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are protesting the conversion of the Katanga Hall of the university from a male-dominated one to a mixed one with the addition of females. Our team in Kumasi have been finding out what people make of this move.
A family been a year, a family business, no, my fan is and yet. Near Munin say, answer Oko University of Cape Costa. Yawo, Casford Hall, one of my single sex, a member Kwana, a fowl. A ya member no mutimi, the Omosomo Yabia. At the same time, as our addition hall, a O site, and also Honoma, a man of Sunkwana, Yaduamo, a Gusa, a inum, Honima, Moso Yadi, as Omoyabia. But as you know, as Oba Katangana, Munze and Cabayas and Gibby Omana, single sex, no, than say beyond Bejana Mana, quite mixing. Because for the past previous years, and say a member Kwana, our honor, and some things are for men. So, when you can say at least we be a day, a quack I see it to me maintain this single sex. I'm
in KSTU. We are Santo and Katanga are big brothers. It should remain a single hall because what we do, it is something that we cherish so much. We can't just deny what we have right now and go for a new thing. We have our anthem and things that we do that it has our male certain things. We can't just leave what we have right now and take and bring in some new things because even the Katanga, the anthem says something. We are boys. We standing for action. We can't just formulate a new song for the ladies and for the men. We are here to be one for the boys only.
It will not cause any harm. I think it's going to help them be more sociable. It's going to help them to, to improve their confidence. Because when they are separated, some ladies are shy of some men and some men are also shy of some ladies. So when they get mingled up, I think it's going to bridge that gap. It's going to bring unity. It's going to just remove some of the shyness from some of the ladies and the guys.
Well, let's move on to health issues as the health minister, Kwame Nkrumah, was on Thursday allegedly stoned by some supporters of the NDC at Ejumako in the central region. Reports on some online portals indicate stones were hauled at the minister, who was there to inaugurate a polyclinic and some health project started by the Mahama administration. An Accra-based radio station reported some journalists got injured in the process after being hit by the stones. The irate group continued to hurl objects at the minister until the Member of Parliament for the area, Kesiel Atoforsen, intervened. The MP pleaded with the NDC supporters to calm down. Now let's speak with the PRO of the Ministry of Health, Robert Kujo, on this issue. Good afternoon to you, Robert. Now, first of all, how is the minister?
Oh, he's doing well. By God's grace, the stones that were pelted on the delegation did not hurt the minister, neither any of the entourage. It was one of the, I think, multimedia journalist who was hurt. In fact, some blood oozed out, and I would say that the minister is okay, and the entourage were okay. Nobody was hurt in the process, except that unfortunately our brother from the multimedia radio station was hurt.
So, has any arrests been made so far?
No arrest has been made. Thank God the incident lasted for just a while. And want to continue, the chief of the town indicated that he was going to take up the matter, and that since he lives with this gentleman, he was going to call them before the elders of the town to ensure that whatever punitive action that should be taken against them will be done. So I think once the respected chief has taken the decision to deal with them at that level, I think we will let it go. But this doesn't mean that the police cannot do their own work. But it's the duty of the police if they have to apprehend them and then bring them to book. It's a welcome news, but I believe that because the chief has said that probably he was trading for them and that he wanted to deal with them at that level.
Now, Robert, do you know why the youth behaved in this manner?
Well, the only reason they gave was that they are saying the Nana government time and again keeps saying that Muhammad did not do anything, and so they didn't see the reason why Muhammad would start the former president Muhammad would start the project, and they will come and commission it. If anything, I thought the credit should be given to the former president. But this is an unfortunate statement because we all know when the current president Adedan Akufo-Addo took over, he made it so clear without any uncertain term to the Ghanaian populace that he was going to ensure that all uncompleted, unfinished projects will be finished under his government. Should he continue for a long time? So I think it's a welcome news to see Nana-Addo truly going by his word. The Central region had 10 polyclinics, and when the government took over, about some of them were just at the military level. Some of them had not gone that far. Some of them had already been roofed. Some of them were at advanced stages. Some of them, they were fitting electricity and then plumbing work and all that. So a lot of work has been done, but a lot more needed to be done. And truly,
right, so Robert, briefly tell me about this. So was it commissioned, and do you know if the polyclinic is in use now? Briefly, please.
Oh yeah, it was commissioned. But as I said,
and is it in use?
Lasted for just a short while.
Welcome back. Government says liquidity support given to collapsed banks will be recovered despite some initial difficulty in identifying assets of the affected banks. Giving details of plans to support indigenous banks, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta said such support will be limited to indigenous banks that are well governed and managed in full compliance with the Bank of Ghana's regulatory requirements.
We will have to strengthen the local banks. I'm expecting that they themselves will be getting together for mergers and consolidations, and then we'll see how best we can support to make sure we have strong representation.
The finance minister further assured that the liquidity support given collapsed banks will be recovered.
A clarity for us as to how the gains we have made are going to be irreversible, the way in which we generate revenue to support it, and how to really, in the end, get all of our citizens to own the future that we are talking about.
The assurance followed concerns that the funds, over 8 billion Ghana cedis, used in assisting the troubled banks may not be recovered. Government is said to have issued about 2.2 billion Ghana cedis bond to support GCB as a result of the liquidation of assets of UT and Capital banks, and some 5.7 billion Ghana cedis in the case of the 5 banks consolidated to form the Consolidated Bank.
Now, farmers in Bekwai in the Ashanti region are losing several thousand tons of perishable farm produce due to bad road network. Eva Atiboka reports that health and other economic activities are also badly affected.
Farming is the mainstay of the people of Asante Bekwai. However, poor roads linking communities to market centers are frustrating efforts of farmers in maximizing their yields. The chiefs and people of the area who met the Special Initiatives Minister, who was on a tour of ongoing projects under the 1 million per constituency fund, were worried a larger chunk of their farm produce gets locked up on farms.
Our roads are very bad. Meanwhile, we cultivate cash crops here. How then do we survive when we cannot cart our produce from the farms to the market centers?
Residents also lamented that access to health care is a problem.
Commercial drivers refuse to ply the road, especially when it rains. So some sick people do lose their lives because vehicles will not even ply at night.
Special Initiatives Minister Hawa Kumsin assured the people of a resolution to their challenges.
My ministry will collaborate with the roads ministry to discuss how best we can improve on your roads, so to boost food production and also increase economic activities.
Meanwhile, the Bekwai constituency will benefit from a solar-powered limited mechanized water projects and toilet facilities under the 1 million per constituency fund. The chiefs and people expressed their gratitude to government for ensuring the projects are executed on time.
And that's all for business this afternoon. Let's move on and look at some more stories. And President Akufo-Addo says the late senior minister and veteran politician Joseph Henry Mensah attachment to democratic values was profound. In a personal eulogy at his funeral and service, the president described the late statesman as a mentor and one of the greatest servants of the Ghanaian people.
His wit and clarity of expression, his sheer joie de vivre, coupled with his natural gravitas, were infectious, as were his spirit and sense of confidence about the future. And he became unabashedly my mentor. I enjoyed his company enormously. The brilliant intellect, the impish sense of humor, the urbane, civilized personality, and above all, the deep love of the Ghanaian people and their history, and the dogged faith in their capacity to build a progressive civilization, the equal of any on the face of the planet. His attachment to democratic values was profound, and he helped me confirm my conviction that the rapid development of our nation was possible with democratic institutions. He subscribed fully to the concept of development in freedom, the mantra of the Dankwa Domo Buzia political tradition, whose founders he revered. The highlights of his political career were many, but there can be little doubt that one of the most edifying was his leadership of the minority in the Second Parliament of the Fourth Republic, the first time a minority had surfaced in the Parliament of the Fourth Republic. Adept, combative, eloquent, resilient, and imbued with an unshakable love of the parliamentary institution, he led the minority with great verve and panache and set a standard of engagement as a minority leader that would be difficult to replicate.
Now here's a brief profile of veteran politician and elder statesman Joseph Henry Mensah, who died at age 89. Unfortunately, we are unable to bring you that, but we'll try and get you that story subsequently. Now, it's now time for business. Now, Joseph Henry Mensah, who held several portfolios, was also a magnate. Let's now take a look at his life as a businessman.
We've got a pipeline from Accra, from the refinery, going to Tema on the lake and producing a distribution point up in the north, which would have served a lot of the north and saved the road from Accra to Kumasi. We've left that piece of ironmongery in the ground to rot.
The late Joseph Henry Mensah was a senior minister and a member of the economic management team under the John Agyekum Kufuor-led government. Chief Executive Officer of Imani Center for Policy and Education, Franklin Kujo, described J.H. Mensah as pragmatic. The former finance minister believed in running the country as a multinational corporation than a state.
There was a lot of very valued judgments J.H. brought when he served with Kufuor. We should now take to his legacy, which is his economic thinking, his pragmatism, his respect for meritocracy, his respect for transparency. I mean, in his days, deals like NGVG would never have happened.
J.H. Mensah served as finance minister under 3 different administrations. Specialized in economic theory and development, J.H. Mensah was the head of agency at the National Planning Commission, which drew and implemented the country's 7-year development plan from 1962 and 1969. Former chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, endorsed the concept of coming out with Ghana's long-term development plan. When members of the NDPC visited J.H. Mensah on the 40-year development plan, the development economist called for its sustainability when formulated.
Things don't happen. They take a long time to happen. And we had a development plan. It should go on for a long time and then be sustained.
In 1953, he was appointed as an assistant inspector of taxes by the colonial administration. Founder of Imani, Franklin Kujo, recounts J.H. Mensah's passion for dialogue and constructive discourse.
I remember J.H., especially when he had his exchanges with Tonyedu in the dailies at the time, the graphic at the time. It was exciting to look forward to those exchanges.
The former senior minister served as a member of the African Advisory Council of the African Development Bank from 1993 to 1997.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Let's move on to some more news. And students and alumni of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are currently demonstrating against the University Authority on their plans to make the Katanga Hall of the university a mixed one. Our Ashanti regional correspondent Beatrice Biogabra joins us with live updates.
So, students and alumni
of the Unity Hall and Katanga Hall, that is the University Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University, are demonstrating. The main reason is that they do not want their halls to be converted into a mixed hall. I have two of the representatives of the two halls, Alfred from Unity and Gideon from Katanga. Starting from Gideon, why are you protesting your halls being converted into a mixed hall?
I think the VC gave some reasons why he's doing that. That is, he wants to increase female population on campus and insecurity off campus. And I think these reasons are neither here nor there. We can't accept this. The reason being that I think you remember good old days when they said send your girl child to school. Prempeh College was still Prempeh College. Opokuwari was still Opokuwari. Adisada was still Opokuwari at this school. So why do you try to change these things? If you want to increase female population on campus, then automatically all you have to do is increase infrastructure. That is the best thing to do. It can take time, even in 10, 20 years. It is still ours. It is still for KNUST. And as alumni, since we are on the board of the University Council, we have a say. We are stakeholders. I'm a past student. If I should do anything contrary to the rules of KNUST, even as I'm an old student, my certificate can be taken from me. So if these same things are happening there in the school where I take pride in, the hall that I take so much prestige, that I attach myself to, you say you're trying to make it female, please, it is neither here nor there. He should come back again.
I guess you also go by the same view, but one will say that getting girls or ladies with you on your halls or in your halls, there is nothing to worry about. So why are you worried?
These are the same ladies that we go to lecture halls with. We have lectures with. We don't take the ladies. But the fact of the matter is, you want to increase female population on campus. Like my brother said, why don't you put up more structures? Legon, University of Ghana, has set the pace. They've done that. Now, if you go to the University of Ghana, they have so many halls that even students, the best are there and the students don't occupy. But come to KNUST, we've been having the problem of accommodation since the 90s. Why? Since the last hall was built, that's Unity Hall, Konti. 50 years ago, no other traditional hall has been added to it. There was one traditional hall that they were building, Hall 7. Before we could see, by Jack, the lecturers bought that hall. And then now it's their private property. It's a hostel now. Now it's a hostel. It's no longer a traditional hall. Why don't you build traditional halls on campus? Now you are putting this fear into students that campus is the safest place to be. Off campus is not safe. Yes, we all know that off campus is not safe. We all know that off campus is not safe. So now you are expanding your if you go to campus, you go to Brunei, they are expanding their hostels there. Behind there, they are putting up more blocks. And they are putting this fear into students so that students will come and occupy their hostels. Why are you trying to enrich yourselves at the expense of poor students and poor parents? You are charging 4,000, 5,000, 4,500 for a bed per year, per academic year in your hostels. Why the traditional halls you are charging 995 cedis? Why don't you put up more traditional halls? Why? When KNUST, I was in KNUST when the HFC hall was put up. Within a year we had a HFC mall. We had a mall on the university campus. Why can't you put up halls? The mall is bigger than even a traditional hall. Why didn't they partner with KFC to put up a hall? We are very angry at this decision.
Yes, putting up structures, as you did mention, will take some time. But why don't you allow the school authorities the time so that they will mix you with the ladies as they start up to put up other structures?
Okay, now Katanga is a tradition. Konti is a tradition. Something which has been there for 50 years and more. You cannot just take it away. How old are these boys' schools, girls' schools, so that even their old students wouldn't allow you to even venture or even speak bad about it? So how much more a place? Listen, Honorable said Chairman was there, the late Ali Muhammad was there. If we should count it, see them in politics, you see how they are addressing. See them in technology, Medimosis from Katanga. See them in medicine. See them in administration, and compare them to those who are in the mixed halls.
We can say that tradition can be reviewed or amended. The authorities want to amend or review that tradition of having all male halls. Why don't you buy into this and move on as students and past students?
They want to break student front. That is the major reason. You see, when they do this, Katanga becomes weak, Unity Hall becomes weak. When they introduce anything, now you know they were bringing as many as 800 females into a hall which Katanga, a hall which can take 1,200 students. If you are bringing 800 females, automatically you break the front. If you impose anything, during my days, there were several times we had demonstrations, things that they imposed on us, and they reverted it. So now, who would do that? If They are only girls. They will keep quiet.
Finally, so if the school authorities do not heed to your plea or your protest of having your halls remain in a male hall, what would you do?
Simply put, we would advise ourselves, and when we get there, we shall cross the river.
Right. That is one of the students of Unity Hall who is saying that if the school authorities do not heed to their plea for the male hall to remain a male hall and they try to bring ladies to join them, they would advise themselves. Beatrice Fiogabra, TV.
It's Midday Live on TV3. Let's take a break now. When we return, we'll have sports. Now, in entertainment news this afternoon, Wuta Efriye, one half of High Life Group Wuta, has spelled growing rumors that the group is on the verge of collapse. After 6 years of breakup, the group waged a strong comeback in 2016 with the release of Bronya, a song that won them the best group at the 2017 VGMA. Wuta Efriye, speaking on TV3's New Day, asked fans to disregard the breakup rumors.
I'm talking about the rocks, the rough, rugged rock.
We are still together.
Okay.
I can tell you for a fact we are still together.
Okay.
What I say all the time is at the end, good music should win.
Okay.
The Marleys were forced together.
Okay.
But when they went separate ways, individually, they gave the world the best of reggae music. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh.
Right.
And you look at groups like R2Bs and the likes. Moogies has singles, Payday has singles. So if one Wuta does this and the other does that, I don't think that should fuel anything about breakup.
But the people.
Oh, it's Midday Live on TV3. We'll be back shortly after this break. You're welcome back, and news just in indicates that the lawyer of June 3 disaster victims, Mary Ohenewa, has given President Akufo-Addo a one-week ultimatum to grant the victims' audience to address the way forward regarding their compensation and overall welfare. Now, Mary Ohenewa also posed 30 questions to the Environmental Protection Agency, Ghana Oil Company, and the government of Ghana, and gave them till the end of August to answer.
Where we have other countries who have donated to victims, and even recently the office of the president received money for them. So I'm asking our president, he is a human rights lawyer, so if he doesn't attend to them within a week, then I'll have no option than to get to Al Jazeera and BBC and let the whole world know. I have a team of lawyers on standby that after 1 week, if we have not heard from them, we shall file our writ in court without notice to anyone.
And we will bring you more details on that subsequently in our bulletins. Now, that will be it for Midday Live on TV3. And do remember, if you want more news, do go to 3news.com. My name is Efua Teku. Have a lovely weekend.